Welcome back. Well, let's discuss digital economy in Nigeria now. Well, the economy, which is has activities that result from billions of everyday online connections among people, businesses, devices, data, and processes, it has been said to worth about $11.5 trillion. That's globally, and that's equivalent to 15.5% of global GDP. Well, it has grown 2.5 times faster over the past 15 years, almost doubling since the pandemic. That's in 2000. In Nigeria, the information and communication technologies as the ICT sector contributed 17.92. I think it's the only sector that contributed double digits to the nation's GDP in the second quarter of 2021. Well, let's delve more into activities in the digital economy now with Bukola Olutayo. He is the managing director of Stellus Digital Bank, joining us this morning. Good morning, Bukola. Thank you so much for sparing us some of your time. Well, I think one of the hottest stories in the digital space now is what's going on with Twitter.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I didn't think with the first reaction when Elon Musk made the proposal,
yes,
I didn't think that it would be so easy and fast, you know, that we'll see they having an agreement and then the sale of Twitter, you know, is almost coming to a conclusion.
Yeah, it's all about money, you understand? So, Twitter was acquired by a sum of about $44 billion. Yes. And Elon Musk actually, $25 million was actually through debt and about 21 through equity, as in the source of fund that he actually used to acquire it. And that's about 38% increase in the actual value of the shareholding that the initial director was actually holding. He bought it at about $54.2 per shares, and that's over 38% increase. And we're talking about money, you understand, that's a huge capital gain, as regard those who actually held it. And when the previous owner of Twitter was being asked why he sold it, he actually said that he was trying to protect Twitter from sharks in the Wall Street, and he believes that it's Elon Musk that actually can take the vision ahead. The acquisition talks a lot about the way digital asset actually increases, or digital company actually increases. You can hold a digital asset now and worth nothing, or might not be giving you income, but in the next day it could worth billions of dollars. And two major things that actually there's a factor to increase in the value of a digital asset is the numbers of subscribers or numbers of followers that are actually using it. Most digital assets, sometimes they make their money from advert, and people place advert where that a lot of people can actually see it. Yes, you understand?
Eyeballs.
So the number of subscribers, number of followers determine it. Or sometimes when that asset becomes a value or something that would aid the business idea of another person. Let's look at an example of maybe you buy maybe you buy a domain. A domain is just like a name, a registered name. It's actually worth nothing when you buy it and you keep it. But once there's somebody that needs that domain and feels that domain...
What gives it value? I mean, you can just buy it. I don't think it's everybody who has bought a domain or,
yes,
or even has an account on a social media that is making money from
yes,
it. So what adds value? What brings value to an asset, a digital asset, that could make it attract?
Yeah, I said it earlier. The major thing that brings value to it is the numbers of subscribers.
So it's now up to the proprietor to get those numbers.
To get those numbers, and it's also the same way it works for people who uses social media to make money.
The influencers.
The influencers. The numbers of followers you have determines the numbers of the numbers of people who are actually seeing what you're doing, and then corporate organization can then come and place adverts on your page or whatever you're doing, because they know that a lot of people are going to be able to view or see it. And there are some digital assets that might not, the issue with digital asset and digital company is that the way it increases in value is very difficult to actually predict or to calculate. You understand?
It's
because
very volatile.
as you said,
it can just go.
It can just go. As you said earlier, that a lot of people have this asset. some people have this, some people bought domain, but nobody is actually looking for it. It's just maybe sometimes what you can calculate is the number of followers, but sometimes a stroke of luck, you understand, because what you are holding can now become something another person needs. When you find out that this person needs it, even Elon Musk, when he bought Twitter, he wasn't actually talking about the reasons for buying it. It's not an economic reason. There's no economic reason behind it. He was just saying that he wanted to use it as a platform for freedom of speech. You understand? He doesn't want people to be restricted. There's already a thought that is going to tweak the policies that is behind what Twitter uses in guiding tweets. You understand? That is rather going to jettison with the policy, or is going to tweak it. So he even said he doesn't care about the economics that is behind the valuation of Twitter.
But how does this affect? I mean, Twitter is. We had the Twitter battle in Nigeria, you know, where it was banned, took some time. And you have a lot of businesses, you know, apart from individuals who, you know, who have become influencers, and then they use it, and, you know, corporates approach it.
E-commerce, the merchants,
Yes, you have a lot of businesses there. So with this change in the ownership and possible change in the running and the operations or structure of Twitter, how do you see it affecting us back here in Nigeria?
Well, you know, a lot of things can actually change, you know, because now Twitter is now a private company, not as it is before. What's going to be the governance structure going forward? Previously, there are boards that determine what should happen. There are boards that sit to determine how the affairs of Twitter should be run. Now, talking about the merchant or the e-commerce, now what's going to, is Elon Musk going to be looking at you know, increasing the innovation behind what will make the merchants to be able to sell their product faster on the Twitter platform? Or is he just interested in people just being able to say whatever they like? Because all he's been hammering on right now is that he wants it to be a platform for a freedom of speech. He actually even call it a digital village square or something like town square, where people can just come and air anything that they want to say. Is he really interested in an innovation that will aid the entrepreneurs or the merchants that are you know, running there? The staffs of Twitter are also concerned about the cultural change. You know, those are some of the things we'll be expecting Elon Musk to put out, so that people will be able to know, okay, if this platform will still be able to aid their business or the reasons why they are there in the first place. Everybody is curious to know what he's going to do.
And you know, when I cast our mind back to the battle with Twitter in Nigeria, it's connected to the issue of freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech,
you know, remember stuff about the president's posting and things like that. So, and things are a bit different now, because social media, there's tax now, you know, on corporate like that. So I'm just thinking that now that it's a private company, will they be willing to subject themselves to the condition that Twitter reached with Nigerian government, you know, after the ban, which was, you know, how come they were restored? You know, so how do you see it from that perspective, with what Elon Musk has said so far about freedom of speech, and then the government in Nigeria is concerned about, you know, not giving a platform
where people can just say anything they like.
Say anything. So how do you see it balancing out? And of course, we still have the businesses who need Twitter to run, to operate. And then you have the issue of the freedom of speech, which the Nigerian government is sensitive to. And now Elon Musk is saying, actually, I want this to be an open field for every expression.
It's a dicey situation, actually. The thing is that as long as Twitter wants to operate everywhere in the world, there will still need to be some balance, you understand? Because every country have their own policy as regards the freedom of speech. You know, we also have a law that is, you know, criminalizing hate speech as well. You know, some people could use the platform to be able to destabilize the society. So I believe that there's going to be a balance. You know, yes, despite him saying that he wants it to be a place for freedom of speech because it aids democracy across the globe. However, I believe that Elon Musk will still need to consider the differences in each of the countries, because all countries in the world are not the same. You will still need to abide with some of the regulations.
And I guess at the end of the day, it's still an investment, and he will seek to make money from it.
Definitely. Yes, he's very rich, but however, a rich man also don't just throw money away. So if he still wants to make money from it, that's one of the reasons why you will not have to bend to some of the policies that we have in different countries around that is guiding social media these days.
All right, so just before we get to the end of this conversation, let's talk a little bit about you, digital banking in Nigeria. Yeah. Your space is getting really competitive at this time.
Yes.
You have more players and...
Yeah, I think it is it's as a result of what is actually what people are demanding for, what people want these days, because right now the digital economy is actually growing, you understand? And once there is an industry that is growing, you have more players, playing into it, because it is a place where there is opportunity for people to actually be able to make money. And it also helps to increase the employment and reduce unemployment, and also increase the numbers of income, the income that the country is also going to be getting in terms of tax and other things, and also FDI into the country as well too. So it's an industry that is growing. So it's not a surprise that more people are coming into it. So the digital economy for Nigeria is here to stay. It's just starting, and it is going to grow more, because there are different aspects of this digital economy. Digital bank is also one aspect. There are other aspects as well. The social media we talked about is also one aspect as well. So there are different aspects of it. However, if the government wants to enhance this industry and use it to make extra income or add more to our GDP, there's a lot the government needs to do.
You also have government attention. I think they're talking about regulations and all that.
Yeah.
How is that conversation with the government?
Well, beyond regulation, what we are used to here in Nigeria is that we build regulation to control. What the industry really needs now is a regulation that is going to actually deepen or expand the operation of the digital economy. That is going to expand the operation of the digital economy. So we have situations whereby the government have to increase the infrastructure, needs to actually develop skills of people, also deepen financial inclusion, the entrepreneurship.
What are you guys doing about it, the private sector? Everything is not supposed to be on the government. So what are you guys doing about that?
Yeah,
especially the skills acquisition and spread.
Definitely, yes. For every organization within this industry is actually training people to be able to, function in the right way in this field as well. You understand? And the private sector has also helped to open up the industries to foreign investors, who is also bringing in some forms of foreign investment into the country that I believe that Nigeria needs critically.
All right, certainly we do need it critically, and that's why we're looking for FX for importation and for manufacturing. Thank you so much, Bukola Olutayo, the Managing Director of Stellus Digital Bank, for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. Appreciate that. Yeah. So we'll take a break. After the break, Afex Commodities Market is next. So stay with us. This is Business Morning on Channels Television.